For this episode's Freedom Preservation Tips, we're going to discuss with you about finding your news from other sources. Trying to not just watch the TV, the five corporations that run all the news there. You need to go start looking at other sites. There's plenty of places to look. Russia Today, libcom.org, presstv.ir, telesur.tv, infowars.com.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them. Pretty much you can tell what is a legitimate news source by doing your homework on your own history and whatnot, and getting outside of the corporate-controlled media reality that's manifests itself in our educational systems, not just in the entertainment style of news organizations that we have nowadays, which will generally push Paris Hilton and Tiger Woods and other scandalous, ridiculous news, rather than something that's more relevant to your ability to preserve your own freedom and prevent tyranny, which is why we're doing the show for you. So anything void of this true political, historic, and economic content is definitely going to be counterintuitive to your own needs. So yeah, check out blogs where independent journalists of sorts are putting relevant, pertinent facts to your freedoms out there. Other websites like alternate.org, /dot.org is an excellent website for tech news. Also prisonplan.com. And one of the things that I get that I really enjoy every week is G. Edward Griffin, who wrote a book about the Federal Reserve that unconstitutionally controls our monetary system and has enslaved us. That's a mouthful. He has a newsletter called Unfiltered News, which you'll get weekly, which highlights excellent local, national and international news.
Our other tips are to you is to start your own media. That's kind of what we've been doing here, trying to put out our own news so we don't have to watch everything that they're doing, so that you guys don't have to be tortured by it, and try and get some real truthful information out there. People are at a point right now in history where they're tired of being lied to. They're tired of listening to all these shills on CNN and Fox News and the rest of it. So it's important for people to get out there and start your own media. Hold the mainstream media accountable for the corruption that they do. We're never going to get anywhere if we don't start doing things for ourselves.
Yeah, if we all work together to support legitimate news and to create our own news sources, then we would completely disengage from these corrupt sources and give them absolutely no power over our lives.
Absolutely. Hopefully you think about some of those issues over the next couple weeks and try and preserve your freedom for us and for you.
And for a preview of our next show, it's going to be based on censorship following this one on the media, and we're going to chronicle and highlight all the difficulties that we've had trying to do this project here on Stacking the Deck. Effectively, there's a lot of kind of hidden or more discreet forms of censorship, not just bad words on TV and whatnot, but it's extremely difficult and practically impossible to post lengthy videos on the internet to share with people, and also to have any kind of media outlet in your community.
Yeah, we're also going to discuss the censorship that's occurred within news, within publishing groups, and on the internet especially, and also within the political parties and the election system.
So that they can preserve their false left-right paradigm, it's necessary to have a censorship so that way you can create restricted monopolistic market on politics, on people's worldview, and prevent anything that would compete with that and undermine that. So what we hope to do is show how censorship's used to create a rotten foundation by which we perceive how the world works, and how by going around censorship and using open source software and other Creative Commons and that kind of thing and fair use, how that can give us a legitimate foundation. We can get a footing and we can start to get rid of the tyranny that has been increasing over the last few decades especially.
So join us for our next show on censorship.
We now leave you, our viewers, with the quote of the week, which we hope you think about deeply until our next episode. This one is from Mark Twain.
Whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it is time to pause and reflect.
So please, we urge you to do that, so that way you understand that your position is true or could be flawed, is taking the time to analyze the way you view the world and why you may be on the side of the majority, whether you're on the right side or the wrong side.
Thank you for joining us, and keep on stacking the deck.
most of humanity is in an absolute hypnotic trance that is they're put in from cradle to grave by constant repetition of a fake reality. And when we wake up from this, then we will not be subservient.
The bottom line is that the government is getting what they have ordered. They do not want your children to be educated. They do not want you to think too much. That is why our country and our world has become so proliferated with entertainments, mass media, television shows, amusement parks, drugs, alcohol, and every kind of entertainment to keep the human mind entertained so that you don't get in the way of important people by doing too much thinking. You had better wake up and understand that there are people who are guiding your life and you don't even know it.
Television is the most powerful weapon of psychological warfare in history. The programming that we are constantly assaulted by throughout our lives conditions us, it programs us to a particular worldview. Now, we may consider it normal because we were born into this system of lies and deception. And because we were born into this situation and our parents were born into it and have suffered from it, we don't know any better.
What I may call the messages of Brave New World, that it is possible to make people contented with their servitude. I think this can be done. I think it has been done in the past, but I think it could be done even more effectively now, because you can provide them with bread and circuses, and you can provide them with endless amounts of distractions and propaganda.
But there's a reason. There's a reason. There's a reason for this. There's a reason education sucks, and it's the same reason that it will never, ever, ever be fixed. It's never going to get any better. Don't look for it. Be happy with what you got. Because the owners of this country don't want that. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that.